All right, everybody. Thank you for joining. We are Rumble Pop live. Guys, we're live. Officially, look at us. We're live. This is a really cool episode for a lot of reasons. Man, I just kind of want to stall for a second until a few people pop in, just because I think it's important to announce everything when there's people in the room. So I'm just going to give it a second. But in that time,
do you want me to do my OnlyFans dance?
Oh, yeah. That's true. That's that almost got us banned a couple months back, I think, when you did that, Chris. So we have to be careful. It's too sexy.
So you have to do the OnlyFans dance.
Oh, not me. I'm not doing that. No.
All right, Kevin, it's up to you.
Mine's just sad. I just cry.
Save our show.
Kevin, save the show.
Save the show.
Mom and Dad's here, everybody. Say hi to my mom and dad.
Hi, Mom and Dad.
Hi, Mom and Dad.
Hi, Dad. How are you? How are things? I was talking to them earlier.
This is basically a Midwest show tonight, but with the exception of me, you got people from Ohio and Michigan dominating the host panel here.
Where are you from, Kevin?
You know where I'm from. I'm from the great Empire State that has a team that has the most championships in baseball, the New York Yankees.
Disgusting. They stole. They purchased their championship.
Almost as bad as them being from Ohio.
Purchased their tape. Hey, knock it off. Our team has done nothing to your team, and your team has done nothing to our team. So relax. There's nothing there. There's no competition between us.
I know.
We're never good at the same time. It's weird.
Tigers have no beef.
No, it's either.
Who's your baseball
He was talking
team,
about
right?
you, Kevin. He wasn't talking about me.
Well, he can't talk to me because we took care of his team a couple years ago.
Oh, we took care of his team a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I don't consider Tigers a baseball
podcast.
team.
I think I called into the wrong one.
Yeah, maybe. It's possible.
I'm not going to be able to relate. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Well, luckily, that's not what this is about. Hopefully, my shirt is kind of representative of what this podcast is about. And you can see it on the screen, too. We've got.
Sorry, I was talking about sports to bring more viewers in.
Yep, that's exactly what it did.
I guarantee you, Sammy likes the Yankees more than she does the Guardians.
Oh, Kevin. So you're saying Sammy likes the Yankees? That's her favorite team, is the Yankees?
No.
She likes the Yankees?
No, if she had to choose between the Yankees and the Guardians, she would choose the Yankees.
I don't think so. I doubt it. Very much so.
Absolutely.
Nobody, unless you're a Yankees
Kevin,
fan, you don't like the
Yankees
Yankees.
outside of New York.
It's true.
Nobody. And half of New York hates them.
It's also true. Yeah, because there's the Mets.
Well, it's more like maybe a third. Yeah, the other third are like Mets fans.
Yeah, there's the smarter fans, I feel. Just my humble opinion. Anyway,
of course.
I'm going to do some stuff in the background here, and Kevin's going to pontificate a little bit. So, Kevin, if you don't mind taking it away.
I will pontificate. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone in the 24 time zones on planet Earth. Welcome to the most Muppety show on YouTube tonight. It is Rumble Pop. And now I'm going to introduce to you my co-hosts and co-conspirators for the evening. First, the madman in that blue headset, a man whose team of baseball he wished was as good and as prestigious as the New York Yankees. But he is DC Comics for life, and if you have a problem with it, he will truly pop you in the mouth. So you better love DC Comics, and you better have respect for Ted Kord, Blue Beetle.
Sure.
And by the way, watch that Blue Beetle movie. It's good. I like it. You should like it too.
It's very good. Yeah.
Very good.
Very good.
He's a man the ladies love. They sweat. When they see him, they drop their undergarments and throw him his way because he has such
it was crazy
magnetism.
Last episode, Gray, you weren't here, but last episode, like they just kept throwing him at me. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Sorry, I missed that.
I was barraged with underpants. Just barraged.
Yeah, dirty underpants because you were
undergarments.
Just the ladies, though.
Well, we can't.
That was men too. Enrique, didn't he said undergarments your way too?
We can't be too picky. You know, when people are throwing their underwear at you, you just accept it, unless they're filled with shit.
Undergarments just coming his way because he has such magnetism. He is the most lubricated man, socially lubricated man in America today.
Yeah, you better straighten that one out.
Yes. He is the original Donald.
Here's the question I want to pose.
There we go.
Is he a man or is he a Muppet?
I'm a
You
Muppet
know
of a
what?
man.
I think he's a hybrid Muppet and man.
I like to say I'm a Muppet of a man.
That's Jason Segel. That's Jason Segel, though.
But is it even? Is it 50-50 or is one of them's got to be 51%?
I mean, that would be Tim Curry.
That's true.
51% Muppet.
Is
There
it
you
really?
go.
I had no idea. No idea whatsoever. That's very
Next,
fascinating.
we go to a man, a bearded man, a fine bearded man. He is considered one of the sexiest professors out there in the United States of America today. He lives in that beautiful Lone Star state of Texas, but originally from the great state of Michigan. He's a man who represents the Detroit Lions, the Detroit Tigers, the Detroit Pistons with pride and prejudice. He is a man who is one of the most educated men in America today, who also, when he performs on stage, receives undergarments from the ladies when he performs and sings a beautiful, melodious toned voice. He is Professor Chris D. Turr.
You left out the only good franchise from Michigan, the Detroit Red Wings.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Detroit Red Wings we can't forget, as well as the Michigan Wolverines, of course. You know,
Yes, those are only two.
You know,
Pistons. Are they even a real franchise? Anyway, hi guys,
All right.
thank you for joining us.
All right. Last but not least, a man who we have not seen in quite some time on our live stream. A man who is a powerful and wonderful and most excellent father. A man who is also from that great Buckeye state of Ohio. A man who is a master puppeteer, who has been doing it for 12 years, who has brought great joy through his many creations. A man who is adorable to many of the audiences out there. He is a family man. He is a great friend. He is a great uncle. He is Mr. Gray.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a minute, Gray. It's been a minute, but it's lovely to have you.
Yes, sir. And of
Good
course,
to be here.
I am your humble servant, your humble podcaster, the Grand Master
So
of
humble.
the Jedi,
So humble.
and Vulcan Arts, your Supreme Chancellor, Brother Kevin. Brothers and sisters, we are going to delve deep tonight into a topic we have not really done before.
So deep.
We're going to so deep. We're going to have fun. We're going to rank the Muppet movies. The Muppets bring such great joy to us. They make us laugh. They
True.
make us crack up. They just give us funny, good feelings.
Does anybody
good
get
feelings.
triggered by the Muppets? I want to ask that in the chat first of all.
How can you get triggered by
Does
the
anybody
Muppets?
get triggered by Muppets?
Muppet Babies.
Well,
Yeah,
the
that
babies
I
are
could
can
be.
great.
that.
What was their first appearance? What film did they first appear in?
The Muppet Babies?
Yes.
Good question. I'll tell you in 1 second.
It was either
Let's see.
The Great
think-
Muppet Caper or Muppets Taking Manhattan. I think it was the Great Muppet
Manhattan.
Caper.
I think it's about Manhattan.
Was it Manhattan? It's
It
one or
is
the other.
Flashbacks, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
if it's the Muppets Take That Cabin, that was 40 years ago, 1984.
You know
40
what?
years ago.
Yeah, I think it is Manhattan because you're right. Because of the
Uh.
flashbacks and his, he had forgotten who he was, and he had to there was an amnesia thing. So I think you're right. Yeah, you guys are right. Right on it. Yeah. It's not just you, Donald. I do. Oh, okay. Look, he gets triggered by Muppets too. Okay. All right,
So
that's fair.
how? Why? Why?
It's not piss, Loki. I'm not drinking piss. It's not apple juice either. It's ginger beer mixed with whiskey. Tonight is a drink night. That's okay.
Nice.
I'm allowed to have a drink night.
Wait a minute,
I
I
don't have
thought
them every
next
Monday,
week's-
but tonight's a drink night.
I thought next week's St. Patrick episode you were going to do that. You're
Oh,
doing
I-
two-
Oh, no. No, he's getting wasted next week.
I'm gonna be illegible. Like you won't.
Yeah, he was drinking straight Scotch. Or not Scotch, Irish whiskey.
I mean, I already have one of these
Great
in,
Irish
in
whiskey.
in the glass ready. It's just ready to go.
You're going to be illegible or intelligible?
Both. Because if I'm unintelligible, I'm not very legible, am I?
I suppose not.
Yeah, one goes with the other. It's fine. It's fine. We'll let that pass. We'll let that slide.
We're gonna have one of those like warning things that come up as like
right
to be tune in, like because like I don't know.
Oh, by the way, I
You'll
do
have
have
to
a
go back
party
later
horn.
and subtitle it all.
I do have a party horn. So if somebody says something amazing, I'm going to launch the party horn. We've never tried this live on the air. I got it at the 99-cent store. It's going to probably be amazing. For that reason alone. So I'm really excited to do it. We'll all have to, like, somebody, if it's that time, just say, Donald, it's time to sound the alarm. Or to, the horn of Gondor needs blasted. And then I'll go to town. Whatever works, we'll figure it out. But it's here. It's here. The party horn is here. See? Party air horn. I'm ready.
How loud is it?
I don't know. We haven't tested it. I've literally never pushed the thing to know.
With the Dollar Tree or dollar store horns, there's probably only one good horn in it. So
you think?
So don't waste it. Yeah.
You think it's
Let's
not
see.
very horny?
Don't do it near the microphones though.
It's
Don't
not
do it near
very
the
horny.
microphones.
It's not very horny, guys. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna do it away, like over here, like
All
over
right,
that way.
good.
The mic's here.
All right.
I'm gonna do it
You'll
this way.
put
I'm not
people's
gonna
ears
go
on if
because my ears will be affected also. Let's remember. So and even if they weren't, I still wouldn't do that to you guys. I don't want everybody that I have on the show to be deaf. That would be
it'll
that'd
make
be
the show a lot
horrible.
easier to make.
Like, I mean, you'd be more agreeable probably with me in a lot of aspects because I'd be like, and then you guys would go,
There would be a lot of, what?
yeah,
What?
probably, yeah.
Donald, we can't hear you again. And then Donald getting upset because his microphone's not working.
It'd
and
be
then
like a
he's-
retirement home in Florida.
I can't hear you now. It's better.
Ah,
Who is Eddie McClintock? Anybody know who Eddie McClintock is? Is that? I don't know. Is that the guy from Stranger Things? Sammy? Is that Eddie McClintock? But anyway, my mom says actor Eddie McClintock is doing a movie in Ohio in North Canton. That's
Really?
about 40 minutes from my parents' place. 45 if you drive regularly. But 40 if you go a little faster.
and I
Anyway.
forgot, what part of Ohio are you from, Mr. Gray?
Columbus area.
Ah, so you really are a Buckeye.
Yeah. I was raised a Buckeye. And, well, yeah, they had the best of the Wolverines for years and years and years, but
Not
Now
anymore.
it has
Not
turned.
anymore.
yep. Last few years it has turned. But I did not go to OSU.
Okay.
Uh,
Did you go to Kent
Donald-
State like Donald? Are you a Golden Flasher?
No, OU. Bobcats.
Or you're a Bobcat?
Yep.
Nothing wrong with being a Bobcat. You go to Cedar Point, and you can ride the Bobcat ride and be like, I'm a Bobcat on the Bobcat. Whee!
Donald, to
Got
answer your question, Eddie McClintock he was in that show on Sci-Fi called Warehouse 13.
Oh, he played the lead, the
Secret
second lead,
agent, yeah.
the guy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, I know him. I mean, not personally, I know of him, but I'm sure we would be great friends if we did meet.
And by the way, Donald, as
That's
you
hot.
sip that libation of that hot
It's
drink.
tea. It's tea.
Good. I love tea. Well, as you continue to sip that tea, are you ready to pull out something? Pull out some joy.
Kevin wants to
for
know if
this
I'm ready to
stress.
pull out.
Tea.
Oh. Kevin's like, are you ready to pull out, Donald? Kevin, indeed I am. That's right. I've fully pulled out, guys. I've pulled out every book that I read over the week. And there's some fun little doozies in here. I'm excited for a first time in a bit to go over them because lately it's been pretty bad. Like, just a few here and there that were really good. But I think I cheated a little bit. Not all these are number ones. Some of these I'm revisiting the story of something that I really liked when it was issue 1, and I'm continuing to tell you how it's turning out. One of those being Kill Your Darlings, issue number 2. Now, I did read and review issue number 1 on here a while ago, probably about 5-6 months ago. And I said I liked it. It's about this little girl that, like, she's tied to some type of witch clan or coven back in the 1700s. And at the end of the first issue, she is, like, she's deeply involved in a fantasy kingdom that she has created in her mind, where there's basically Muppet-like, anamorphic, like, cartoon characters in there, and she's trying to protect them and the throne. And it's like Lord of the Rings meets the Muppets meets like some animation from like probably Kung Fu Panda or something. You know, it's interesting. Issue 2 picks up where she's a little older and she's in a bit of a insane asylum, for lack of a better word, and she's struggling with her identity, who she is. And at the end of the issue, one of the imaginary elephant creatures breaks her out of the asylum and tells her that she's needed to help protect the kingdom. They are in trouble. And it's fun. It's still fun. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm enjoying it. So Kill Your Darlings, if you get a chance to pick it up, it's still good with issue 2. So I can't wait for issue 3 to read it. It's already out, by the way. I think they're on 5 or 6. So catch up. You can catch up at your local comic book shop. For me, that would be We Can Be Heroes in Chatsworth, California. I can catch up there because they do get new books in there, and you can grab something fun like that. So give it a try. Next this was interesting. I always read David Avallone's work. He's a friend of the podcast, and we're a friend of his. We're a fan of his, too. He's a fantastic writer. He wrote for the animated Batmobile series, and I think he's continuing to still write for that series that's going on currently. And he also is writing little ditties like this, Elvira Meets H.P. Lovecraft. Now, he came into the shop that I help out, and I had him sign the pinup over there, so it looks like they would, you know what I mean, like back in the day. Not that I've ever seen one. Mom, I've never seen. Dad definitely did not have any of these, and I didn't come across them, so never seen them. Nope, nothing like that. Oh, he's in so much trouble. Even if he didn't do it, he's in trouble. So yeah, this is a lot of fun. The ghost of H.P. Lovecraft comes back from the dead and says, "Elvira, I need you." The gates between our worlds and the world of Cthulhu and the Elder Gods are weakening, and they're trying to come through, and we need to stop them. And she's like, "How can I trust you? You're a racist piece of shit." And he's like, "Look, just because I don't like other races doesn't mean that I want to see everybody die." And you're like, I guess that's a fair point, but also you're a racist piece of shit. So it's an interesting dichotomy in this story, and it leads for a lot of comedy. So if you get a chance, Elvira Meets H.P. Lovecraft, #1, just came out 2 weeks ago. Grab it, read it, love it. I would give the Kill Your Darlings, I would still say it's probably in the 7 range. H.P. Elvira, I would give it around 7.75. I think it's really fun and really worth reading. This one was crap. Sinister Sons. Jesus. Peter J. Tomasi wrote this, and Peter Tomasi is an excellent writer. I think he just took this as a paycheck. Like, this is just the son of Sinestro and the son of General Zod together, and they're busting out and on their own, in their own story. Nobody cares. This should never have happened. Nobody cares. Just, it's a 2. It's not good. Let it go. Don't bother it. Another really fun one, Man's Best. This is an Ashkin version, so it's like a little preview of what you could get when the actual issue 1 comes out. So this is an Ashkin issue. I think they usually just call them Ashkins or issue 0s. But basically, it's about people going to space, and that they are traveling in or trying to navigate space, and they have these kitties with them. And the cats and dogs and stuff, they're putting through simulations to see how they respond. Well, something bad happens to the people, and it's going to be up to the pets to take control and try to save the day. So, Man's Best. It's actually pretty fun. I give it about a 6.5, just not knowing everything about it right now. Potential to go higher, but right now, 6.5, just based on the Ashkin edition of Man's Best. It's only $2.99 if you can find it in a shop. Recommend it. It's a good read. And last
How
but
good
not...
is the cat?
What's that?
How good is that cat?
Well, the cat's basically the leader, but the cat also falls asleep if it gets too warm. So there's that. They all have their this guy here never listens and gets distracted by everything, and
ADHD, huh?
this doggy over here just wants to be a good boy. Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. And last but not least, certainly not least, is as we're following along with this series, because I very much enjoy it. Petrolhead issue 4 is out. Came out about 2 weeks ago. Fun on a bun. Grab it. It's still an 8 to 8.5 in my book. The environment's gone to shit. This little girl here has the key that her father built to saving the world, saving the planet. But the robots in charge don't want that to happen because then they have no purpose. And now we flash forward. You get Petrolhead in here, who is a car driver that they stopped using because they were using petrol and the emissions were terrible. So his goal now is to help this little girl and to save the planet. And that's where we're at. Helping the little girl and saving the planet. And it's fun. Highly recommend it. 8.5 all day long. Now we're in issue 4. Super exciting. More goodness ensues. We get the inclusion of 2 new characters, really in their prime. One of them, Humanoid, I believe was his name, and the other, I cannot remember her name, but she's a bad guy, technically now. And Humanoid could never beat this bad girl character in a race, but damn if he's not going to try to save the world. So he's in it, she's in it, it's a lot of fun. Highly recommend it. And that's it. That's basically, I done just pull out on you. Kevin, if I had a nickel for every time you said that.
Well, what kind of tea are you drinking? That looks good. What kind of tea are you drinking?
This is whiskey tea, sir.
Whiskey tea.
It's delicious. You should try some.
Really?
Keeps you young. It keeps white people young. I don't know about you, but it keeps white people young. For sure. I'm actually 73.
I see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my dad aged because he didn't drink as much whiskey. It kind of preserves the body, technically. And it's good for you. It's got vitamins. Possibly. It's a few minerals. Maybe. It's definitely got to be minerals in there, right?
Yeah, they make it with like fresh water, like really nice fresh rainwater, like.
Yeah, there's got to be minerals. There's minerals. There's minerals in there, guys. It's good for your bones and your teeth. Yeah.
Not good for your liver or kidney, though. No,
not really at all. Let's see. We got a few comments here. What type of tea? It's just a English breakfast, and I need a clip of the whole podcast, but it's just Chris's facial expressions. Sammy says lies. He sits on a throne of lies.
Oh, no.
And, well, howdy, Brian is here from Half's Hot Sauce. Everybody say hi to Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Thanks for joining, buddy. Good to see you. And what we're doing today, besides pulling out, we're ranking Muppet movies. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, we're ranking Muppet movies. And we're super excited to do that. But we need to mention a few parameters, okay? One of those being is that we are only going to be ranking the Muppet films that actually hit theaters. And that means there's 8 Muppet films. There's other films that had puppets in them. They do not classify as Muppets. They do not identify as Muppets. You cannot. You go up to any character, a Gelfling, for example, and ask them if they are a Muppet. They will become offended. So you have to be careful when you approach any type of a fabric or cloth infused character or being, and you just have to be careful how you approach it, because some can get violent. I will say some can get violent, as Gray can probably attest to. Gray, how long have you done puppetry, sir?
About 12 years. Something like that.
Okay. And I feel like you're working on something. I saw something that was like a murder mystery going on or something like that that's happening. What is that about?
I just did, there was a group, the Glorious Ladies of Puppetry that put on a 48-hour puppet film project. So, and this was just a couple weeks ago. They just had the screening this last weekend, and but I have their one rule. The theme was the past that they came out with on Friday night at 6:00, and then you had until Sunday night at 6:00 to turn in the film, limited to 3 minutes. And because it was the Glorious Ladies, one of their requirements was you had to have a woman or a femme identifying person in either the lead puppeteer role or the director's role or writer, something big. And I have actually a couple of friends that are great puppeteers that are women, and one of them was available, so she came over and we made a puppet film in 48 hours, and it was a murder mystery.
Nice. What was the name of it?
It has kind of a long name. It is Innocent as a Baby, an Indigo Bones Mystery.
Okay.
So Indigo Bones is the name of our investigator, and she's trying to figure out who did the murder.
Love it. I love the name.
It was a lot. It was a lot of fun. And she makes puppets and I make puppets. So she brought over a bunch of puppets, and we just used almost all the puppets we had as possible suspects. And it was a lot of fun.
Was there at one point you guys were struggling, right? And you were like, oh, we need one more character. And you're like thinking, and you look over and she's like, what is it? And you're like, well, there is one character. And she's like, well, who? And then you look over in the closet, and then like it just zooms over to the closet, right? And there's this one character that you've worked on, but it was just too dangerous, just too crazy of a character, and you put him away and hid him from the world. But you had to force yourself to bring him out in order to fill the role necessary in order to complete the task of the 48 hours. Did that happen by chance?
Something like that.
Hey,
I have a puppet that I created for another idea that never came to fruition yet, anyway. And I don't think I've ever actually filmed him for anything. And it was a stick of dynamite.
It was a stick of dynamite.
It's a puppet that's a stick of dynamite.
But
in the other room. I can go grab him at some point. But
not a real stick of dynamite, right? It's like a puppet stick of dynamite. Yeah. You weren't.
Yes, I bought a stick of dynamite and then hollowed it out mostly, and then no.
What? Here, watch. I'll light it. What? No. Greg explodes live on the air. Everybody, stay tuned.
Hey, we can't have that.
Alex, thanks for joining, buddy. Oh, man, let's do the air horn for Alex and for Stick of Dynamite. Are we ready? Are we ready to try the air horn? Air party horn. Here we go. Alex, this is for you, buddy. Here we go.
Careful. Ooh.
It sounded like you farted, Donald.
Jesus Christ. That scared the shit out of me. I don't know where it went. Wow. Okay, that's maybe you're supposed to hold it down longer. I don't know, but that's really loud, right? Wasn't that really loud? That felt really loud.
No, 2 minutes right here. Hey,
yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, right. Yeah, the manager's gonna be knocking soon. Well, sorry about that, guys. I'll see if I can locate it here in a few minutes, and we'll bring it back because it tested so well. Someone take that away from him. Oh, okay, maybe it did not test so well. Well, that was just Sammy, though. Alex says, thanks for the air horn. There we go. And Big Sean says, smooth as the Rocky Mountains, Donald. Thank you, sir. I'm trying. I really am. I'm really trying. But gosh, this is going to be a lot of fun, guys. We originally had talked to Bonnie, and Bonnie was like, oh, I love the Muppets. I would totally want to do this with you guys. And we were like, oh, okay, yeah, great. And then Bonnie had something to do, and she was unable to do it. And the moment she said, I'm sorry, but I was already doing this. Oh, okay. hey Gray, how you been? What you doing here? Oh, by the way, and he was so wonderful and willing to do this with us. So we're happy to have you, Gray. Thank you so much. Your expertise in the puppets is key on these rankings. So in order to do the rankings, what we were originally going to do was we were going to everybody put like their rankings and send it to us, and we were going to have a group ranking, and then we would take that. And of course, if like say if Chris said one was I like this one in the number 3 slot, and Kevin said I like it in the number 1, then it would go into the number 2 slot. That kind of
So
thing.
like the Academy voting.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So Gray was great. He sent me his list, so I have Gray's list here. But what we're going to do actually is we're going to go from the list that everybody said. Gray said that's okay. I here's my refined list, and Chris said I'm too tired to argue. Let's just go with Donald's, and Kevin said yeah, whatever. So we're going to go with my list on this one, but there's going to be addendums. So anytime that this list does not match up with somebody else's list, a la Gray's, please feel free to mention that and where you would have placed this in the ranking, because it's not fully official from the 4 of us, but it's pretty decent, I guess you could say, as far as like rankings are concerned. When you're talking about the 8 Muppet films, we're talking about let's see, in chronological order, we're talking about the Muppet movie. We're talking about, what is it? The Muppets, Great Muppet Caper, the Muppets Take Manhattan, Muppet Christmas Carol, Muppet Treasure Island, Muppets from Space, and then we go to The Muppets, and then Muppets Most Wanted. So that chronologically is the 8, and we'll go from there. Really quickly, hey, I helped your chaotic ass paint my chaotic. Well, you helped the rest of me too, just not my chaotic ass. I mean, I paint. Sammy did come over the weekend and help me paint my my accent wall in my new office I'm working on.
Wait, they let you do that?
I can do whatever I want. I've lived here over 15 years.
18 years.
Yeah, I've lived here over 15 years, dude. I can do whatever I want. I asked the manager one time. I said, "Hey, can I rub my own feces on the wall?" And he said, "Yeah, I don't care, whatever."
Why would you want to do that for? That's pretty disturbing.
Well, just in case. You never know. Like, what if like there's zombies, right? And they can smell you through the walls unless you cover the walls with your own feces.
I've never heard that before.
See? Well, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist, Kevin, or won't in the future. You have to think outside the box sometimes, Kevin. Jeez.
I see.
Let's see. Alex says, I once went to a house party, and the following morning, the super was banging on the door saying, Strawberry wants to talk to you. So if you keep blowing that air horn, Strawberry may come a knocking. I don't know who the hell Strawberry is, but that sounds kind of delightfully scary. I'm not sure how to respond to that, actually. Yes, we were just talking about that, Alex. Muppets Take Manhattan created the Muppet Babies. You're not wrong. You did not. No way. You know me well enough to know that I wouldn't do that, Sammy. Come on. So let's go ahead and go with the rankings, and we'll get started. And we're going to go with, on my list, number 8 on the list was The Muppets Most Wanted, or Muppets Most Wanted, however you want to put it. Why did this make 8 on the list? Number 8 on the list. Jeez. For so many reasons. I think when they came out in, 2011? When they came out with the Muppets, it was really good. It was a breath of fresh air. It was a lot of fun. And everybody really enjoyed it. And they were like, wow, okay, so we're going to get like really thoughtful, heartfelt, creative Muppet films. And then they created Muppets Most Wanted, which is a bit of a miss in my book. I don't know about you guys. It was basically another kind of a, and I felt like we've seen this before, at least in a skit or something, where Kermit, there's an evil Kermit, and he gets the good Kermit put behind bars. If we haven't seen it in Muppet form, we've definitely seen it in every other comedy. Like Ernest Goes to Jail, I believe, is one of those. And Ernest is practically a Muppet. So I felt like they already did it. So what did you guys feel about Muppets Most Wanted? It's basically mistaken identity. Kermit goes to jail. The bad Kermit's on the loose, trying to steal things, and the Muppets aren't aware. And then Kermit has to try to break out and break free and, clear his name.
All right, I'll go first. I'll be fast. There are two Muppet movies that I've ever wanted to turn off. One was The Wizard of Oz, and the other one was Muppets Most Wanted. I got through the movie, but it took me a week. I could only do it in pieces. The music, I think, is horrible. I think it's the worst music in a Muppet movie ever.
Wow.
And I hated French Kermit. That's my stance on the movie. So I agree with it being last.
Okay. Okay, good. So we have a somewhat of an agreement there. What, Kevin, did you think it deserved last place?
In this case, yes. Even though Rotten Tomatoes has it at 80%, we believe that this is the worst of the 8 Muppet films for that very reason that Professor Turner had mentioned.
And let me be clear, like, Muppet movies are like pizza. Even when it's bad, it's still pretty good.
Unless it has pineapple on it.
Yeah, I love pineapple on pizza. Are you effing kidding me? If there's I want them to create a Muppet pineapple character just to piss you off. That's what I want.
By the way, what would happen if the Team America characters met the Muppets? What would transpire?
A lot of sex.
Oh.
Found it. Yeah, a lot of sex, a lot of awkward sex, I would say.
So you're saying they would do unrighteous things to Kermit and Fozzie and Gonzo?
Fair, Kevin, there are different types of puppets, so
that's true.
Sure.
Yeah,
I do want to see Miss Piggy fight the Team America, though.
That would be fun.
She could take a lot of them down.
Yes, she could.
That would be fun.
Here's my thought on this. Okay, so you have Team America, right? And they team up with the Fabulous Thunderbirds, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Who they were basically emulating. And they are on their Thunderbird ship, all of them, and hijinks ensue, and they're after a giant Miss Piggy who's been radioactive, and she's huge now. She's like the size of a building. And the two of them have to join forces to go after Miss Piggy, and then they have to get Kermit, because in the end it's love, it's beauty that tames the beast, so to speak. It's a good idea, right?
It could work.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just picturing the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters, but as Miss Piggy.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that. Yeah.
And I'm picturing that scene from was it Avengers where Scarlett Johansson convinces Mark Ruffalo to turn into Bruce Banner again from the Hulk.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the twist. Okay, they realize that they are incapable of stopping her, that it's out of control, and that Kermit is too small to create an impact on her, right? So they have to radioactivate a giant pineapple. And
you lost me.
A large pineapple.
That was not going where I thought it was going. That
has to fight Miss Piggy. And they tussle. And there's sauce and everything. And then they roll onto a big giant piece of dough. And they get slid into a huge volcanic oven. And
I'm going to take this pen and shove it through my ear.
It's delicious.
I've had one pineapple in my entire life that I enjoyed. One.
Pineapple is really good. And I know which pineapple you're talking about. And you can go back to Thailand to get more pineapple, Chris. It's delightful there. They do have really good pineapple and watermelon too. Alex says, once you put pineapple on pizza, it's no longer pizza. You can enjoy it, but it's no longer pizza and becomes something else. That's not true. I disagree. Pizza can take many different toppings. Okay, so
it would be a fruit cocktail.
like anchovies is okay, but pineapple's not. This is what you're basically saying to me.
Put two fruits on a pizza, it becomes a fruit cocktail.
No, what? No.
Because the tomato is a fruit too.
No. Come on. Come on, you're being ridiculous now at this point. If you put more than one meat, is it becoming a jungle? Is it like a zoo? What do you call it then? It can't be a pizza then. See, it could just be twisted so many ways. You guys are wrong. Pineapple does belong on a pizza, and it's delightful. It's the sweet and savory that does such a perfect balance. It's true in Italy. Well, we're not in Italy, buddy. We're not in Italy at all. Bensonhurst, Brooklyn? Nobody even knows where that's at. Kevin, do you know where Bensonhurst, Brooklyn is?
Well, you just said it.
Yeah, but have you been there? Do you hang out there?
No, what were you trying to say? No, I have not.
Okay, see? Kevin doesn't know. There you go. And he's from New York.
I have friends who live in Brooklyn, but I haven't been to the Bensonhurst section.
Oh, obviously, that's because you love pineapple on your pizza.
I see.
That's just the way it is. All right. So we're going to go with number 7. Number 7 is an interesting one.
Well, 1 second.
Yes.
I would not put Muppets Most Wanted at last place.
Oh, okay. All right. What do you have in last place, sir?
I just recently went back and watched Great Muppet Caper and was not impressed. I thought the Happiness Hotel song was great. Every other song I was not impressed with. And I mean, I believe Jim Henson wanted to do Dark Crystal, but they said, we have to have another Muppet movie, and then we'll let you do that. And so he made Great Muppet Caper. And that's the feeling I get from it. Is it was just kind of let's do this and throw this together so that I can make what I really want to do next.
Yeah, that's fair to think that. Yeah, I could see that, and we'll get to the Great Muppet Caper here actually pretty shortly. But what did you have in last place? Last place was
that's what I had.
Muppet Caper. Place. Okay, all right.
Muppets Most Wanted was 7 for me.
7, okay. And in 7 on the master list that we have, it's actually not Muppets Most Wanted. We have Muppets from Space, which kind of pained me to put it so low on the lists. But I feel like the reason why it made it so low on the list is because it's a very niche story. And in that, I felt like you would have had to have come from the 70s or have known the 70s very well in order to understand the trippiness that involved with Muppets from Space. It was very like I feel like if I had discovered cannabis, like if I had discovered weed at that point, I would have been delighted to enjoy Muppets from Space. But not having had that at that point in time, it just kind of fell a little bit lower for me, kind of clunked a little bit. There was some clunkiness to it. It was basically an origin story for Gonzo.
Yes.
Gonzo was trying to understand why he was different than all the other Muppets, which was a cool idea. I'm different than everybody else. Why is that? And the real answer is, well, you're an alien. And I don't know the message there hits correctly with all the kids trying to identify themselves of why they're different. Well, like poor Susie that's like, well, why do I like girls? It's because you're an alien. Susie,
you're from another planet.
That's why. You're from another planet. That's why you like women.
Do you like the dream sequence with Noah? That was kind of fun.
It's great. It's great. And you get what's the name of the prawn? He was a prawn, right? Who was the prawn character? right? Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, he's been
a
back.
regular
He's
now.
been back in a few things. Yeah, he's a regular. He was in the new Muppet,
Yeah.
new Muppet show that came out.
Why is that escaping me now?
I have no idea. Somebody will look it up and tell us who the Muppet Prawn character was. But I believe that was his first appearance, was in, if I recall, in Muppets from Space. I could be wrong, but I felt like that was it. That was where he made his first appearance. And I'm going to bring up a picture of Muppets from Space so y'all can see.
It's Pepe.
Pepe.
There we go, Pepe.
Yep.
I know Kevin has it behind him, but he's kind of blocking the integral part, which is Gonzo, like communicating
I'm
with
sorry.
space fish.
Looks like Konzo's going to do this to his ears.
See,
He's gonna go,
come on, tell me.
Yeah, his arms are just coming out of your head now.
Tell me you're not. Yeah, you're not tripping balls at this point. Like, okay, I feel like I should watch this again, but I have to have an edible first or something in order to watch it, and then I think it might hit different. So I'm going to put a pin in Muppets from Space, and I'm going to do my research. I'm going to do my due diligence. I'm going to have an edible, and I'm going to sit down and watch Muppets from Space. And then in a week or two, when we have the next show or the next two shows or something, however long it takes me to get to it, I'm going to discuss my experience watching Muppets from Space and see how that goes.
This was interesting for me because first of all, I would made my list. I would have put this at number 6, and put the Great Muppet Caper at number 7.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. I had it at 6 also.
Because
I mean, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think God was my favorite Muppet. Having an origin story about him, getting a lot, and I just thought it was a lot of fun. It is trippy, and I thought it was fun, and I feel it's a lot more fun than Caper was. So
it's just, to me, it's very niche, That's why I put it where I put it in the ranking. I still enjoyed it very much, but I also took into account everybody else that would watch it and go, "What the hell?" What is happening right now? Why is he flying? Like, Gonzo I don't understand any of this. Like, so I get it. I get it. And that's me empathizing with people that don't understand. Alex says, hate to cut out early, but I got to split. No problem, sir. Good to see you. Take care of yourself. Thanks for popping in. By the way, Alex, if you haven't done so yet, quit your job and dedicate your life to our show. Because you having to pop in and out so quickly all the time is frustrating for us, and we don't like it. So quit your job and go on unemployment, welfare, whatever you have to do.
So what happens to his wife?
Drink 6 or 7 beers a day, get a big old gut, wear a wife beater. I guess if he has his wife, he's wearing a wife beater. I don't know what that means. Does he have to beat his wife then, though?
I'm curious. Is there such thing as a hubby beater, a husband beater, or a hubby beater? If they have a wife beater, do they have a hubby beater? To be fair,
let's defer to Gray on this one because he's the one that has somebody in his life. So, Gray?
What does she wear when she beats me? Let me see if it's one specific piece of clothing, or maybe it's just an expression. It might just be an expression. Yeah.
There's an expression. That makes sense. Yes.
I don't think the clothes really matter.
I think the wife beater might have come into play from Streetcar Named Desire. Because Stanley wears it.
Oh, really?
Movie, yeah.
That's possible.
I could be making things up, but I feel like I remember hearing that once. In a costume class once.
Okay, I could get behind that. Alex Benquita says a rolling pin is also a hubby beater. A frying pan could also be a hubby beater.
Oh, there we go.
So basically, you're akinning weapons from a kitchen, meaning that the woman has to be in the kitchen.
Miss Piggy is a woman
has to take her weapon from there. Well, Alex, you're in a lot of trouble. I hope your lady does not see this episode. Maybe say something nice now. Like, oh, she uses her laptop where she does all her finances and, something.
There's also the things that a wife could beat their husband with is their checkbook.
Yeah, their hair rollers after they take them out and they throw them at you. No, these are terrible. These are terrible things. Yeah, so Enrique, thanks for popping in. So Muppets from Space, we all agree it's pretty good. It's just something that, like, if you don't like Gonzo or you don't understand the idea of it, it might not be your jam. So that's number 7 on the list. Number 6 on the list. This one's going to get a lot of hate.
Yeah, I'm already ready. I'm ready.
I already know.
Yeah.
Number 6. It's the original. It's the one that basically spawned it all. It's the Muppet movie.
From 45 years ago?
Yeah.
1979?
Yeah. And okay. I'm going to try to explain myself. Okay? The best I can. The Muppet movie, what, came out in 79?
Yes.
Right? So basically the same year I was born, the Muppet movie came out. And I feel like the reason why I'm disappointed in this film is I was born and this film came out. I feel like this film should have been a little more exciting to celebrate me being born.
Wow, that's a little egotistical?
Yes. But still, it's proof that's just
I
proof.
thought he was going to say something like an age like him, which is terribly.
So we have
I don't think it has,
this
but...
evil country bumpkin character that just wants Kermit for his legs because he wants to serve giant frog legs. But there's only one Kermit, so I don't understand his marketing technique here. He never says that he wants to like bronze the legs or put the legs up on the wall or anything. He legitimately wants these legs cooked and served. But it's a one and done situation. Once you serve Kermit's legs, isn't that it? There's no more, like, what's the draw after that? Oh, we had the world's largest frog legs that we served once, and you can come in and look at the picture we took of it. I just didn't get it. Even as a kid, I didn't understand it, and I just found it horribly depressing that this poor frog character was just on the run because this guy wanted to kill him. It's basically the story of a sociopathic killer trying to hunt down a Muppet or character just because of a trait that makes him special, also makes him marked for death. And I never understood it. I never liked it. We get the introduction of Fozzie in Sweetums, which is fantastic. I love Sweetums' introduction. I think it's great. Oh, I want to come with you guys. Let me get my luggage, and he comes back, and they've taken off. And he's like,
"Where'd
you guys?" And he's so disappointed in it. And I love that about Sweetums. He's a sweetheart, Sweetums. But, God damn it, this movie's just not filled with depression. Even the song Rainbow Connection is a beautiful song, but it's so depressing. It just depresses the shit out of me when I hear it. And I know maybe I'm not supposed to, but I just get depressed when I hear it. So the introduction to the Muppets just makes me sad. And that's why, for me, it's where it's at. It's number 6 on the list.
That's too bad you're wrong.
Okay, well, you can tell me more of why I'm wrong, guys.
I'm gonna let Greg start. I'm gonna let Greg go first on this one.
All right, that's fair.
I mean, where to begin? It's a Rainbow Connection's the best Muppet song, hands down. For me, that movie is number 1. It's just, how can you not? You're also from Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
You ended up in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
You go to a new town to, follow your dreams. That you didn't relate to that? Like, I relate to that in my soul.
Yeah, but I didn't have anybody chasing me.
I'm Kermit in that movie. So, yeah, I mean, the humongous animal, spoiler alert. There's so much about it. It's so amazing. It's hard to go against your points when
I tied them emotionally, so it's hard. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I think you're like, well, clearly nothing coming out of 79 could compare to me. I think that's where you're coming from.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very good point, very valid point. Thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate that. Yeah.
I also think it's way too low on the list, and I think it should be number 3 on the list. Because of similar things that Gray said. Rainbow Connections, it's the best. It's an iconic movie. It kind of like, it didn't start the franchise, but it started the movie franchise. It kind of like, they realized it was such a box office success that they could continue on with it. So we got really good ones because of it. I don't know, yeah, because of the Sweetums moment, and I love Steve Martin's part in the movie, and just all the little cameos that we get. I think it's really fun. Yeah, well, it's a little depressing, but I love depressing movies, so. So I don't know. I think it really good, and just the fact it's so iconic. That's definitely a dollar store.
Yeah, it's not even trying. Like, I should maybe hold it longer. Yeah, it's still the same. It's just doing a high pitch whine. It's very bad. It's terrible. I'm sorry, everybody.
There was more than one honk, though, so that's impressive.
Yeah, right? We got like 3 out of here.
No, so that's why I would put it higher. Definitely not. I don't think it's the best, but it is super iconic, and it needs to be up there just for that reason alone, if not the other reasons that were mentioned. I never really thought about it. Actually, what your point about the frog, I always thought about it as, maybe it's because I always saw the other Muppet stuff first, but I never thought of a Kermit being the only giant frog, and it was just like, this was the one they came across, so this was the one they're going to catch.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there was a nephew or something like that, but I have a feeling there's not a whole tribe of giant frogs. But maybe they did do that later in a Muppet episode or a series or something.
Well, because he has he has the nephew and he has all that other stuff.
Right? Yeah. So, but he never said. He never said, "Let's kidnap Kermit and find out where all his other frogs are at, so we can get all of these legs." He just wanted to cook Kermit.
Yeah, but at the same time, you got these Muppets, these like animals running around.
His business practice was stupid.
Nobody mentions anything about it. So I just figured it was like part of the world, like it was just nature in the world. And he happened to see this one frog. I was like, oh, he's big legs, let's get him. And I didn't think anything like, oh, well, he's the only one. Like,
it's so dumb. It's so dumb.
Because there are all these
Muppets
other
most
animals.
Wanted, obviously, there's a French one.
Yeah.
True.
So.
It's true. Yeah. That's a great point. And the French love frog legs. That's also true.
They do?
They definitely do. Yes, they do. Yep. And snails. Yay. So the Muppet movie is officially, unofficially at number 6. Let's go with number 5 on the list. How did this make it above it? I don't know. The Great Muppet Caper.
Can you please explain why it's so high for you?
I thought it was more fun. The Great Muppet Caper. I like the idea of Miss Piggy basically being framed, which is why the Muppets Most Wanted was another reason why it was so low on the list, is because they're just rehashing a generalized plot. Like, oh, somebody's framed for murder, and then it's another character in disguise framed from it, you know what I mean? Oh, that's the twist. That's how we'll sell it. So yeah, it's the Great Muppet Caper. It's Miss Piggy gets accused of being, I think it was a jewel thief, if I recall. And all the other Muppets come together to try to clear her name. And hilarity ensues. There's a lot of fun moments in it. There's a lot of great cameos in this film. And that's because it's a Muppet film. And at this point, I think everybody felt like we have to have like big names in it. So we got like the biggest name of all, which was Charles Grodin in the film. I don't think that's the biggest name of all. But he was a pretty big one. They had John Cleese, I believe, was in it also. He was a big name in the film. I want to say Jack Warden was also in it, and Jack back in the day had a pretty big name for himself. So while it wasn't like the hugest Muppet film, it still had a really great cast. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. I didn't think it was perfect, but it made me love the silly aspect of the Muppets more. I appreciated pivoting towards that. You know, like Muppets were silly, yes, but in the original film, they were serious too. There was like the seriousness to them. And I don't like my Muppets too serious. I like my Muppets to be as zany and wacky as I feel I am in my own head. Like I could close my eyes right now and I could imagine myself as a Muppet and what I would look like. And I don't know if the rest of you guys, I'm sure Gray has some thoughts in that. I'm sure you've imagined yourself as a Muppet and probably have created yourself as a Muppet at some point. But I don't know about Chris or Kevin if you guys have thought about that.
I've mocked it up.
Have you? Okay, good.
What's the average lifespan of a Muppet? Out of curiosity.
Like you mean like a puppet? Like if you're doing puppeteering?
No. Just the Muppets in general. Like what's their average lifespan?
From the movies, like the non-real characters, or are you talking about like production wise?
Like within this
I'm a little
fantasy
concerned
world,
if you think they're real, Kevin, because
aren't they kind of real? I mean, I thought they were living creatures.
No,
yes.
I don't want to be the one to break it to you.
I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah. Buddy. They're real. They're real, buddy. Gray, you want to take the lifespan thing? That question?
I mean, are the character or the physical?
I think he's talking the character.
Puppet. Let's call it a puppet.
Wait, no, the characters, like how long could Kermit live? Like what's his lifespan, or Fozzie? Like, how long
wouldn't it be attributed to the lifespan of what they are? Like Fozzie's a bear, so how long do bears live? Kermit's a frog. How long?
Much longer than us. Kermit is going to be around way past once we're all gone.
Yeah, is that kind of sad to think about, or is that a good thing? You know what I mean? Like,
hey, so maybe Rainbow Connection was after everybody died and he's all by himself in the swamp.
Jesus Christ!
Whoa!
She just brought me down so hard, Chris. I don't. Well, guys, it's been great having you on.
Oh my God.
Dear Lord!
Wow, there's a downer.
Right?
Told you.
Oh my God. So Via has popped in and she said, if we're talking about veterinarily speaking, frogs max out at like 10 years. So Kermit's not going to outlive any of us. But he would already be technically dead.
What about Gonzo?
Well, Gonzo's an alien. We don't know.
Probably Waldorf and Statler are probably like the winners there.
Because
they've already lived forever, yeah.
Yeah,
they're human. And they're like 70s or 80s now. So
they've been in their 70s since they were in the 70s. They've been in their 70s.
They're like 140 years old now. So
David says you can use the theory of Superman. He only ages 1 year for every leap year.
Oh. Fascinating.
So every 4 years. And he's been around what? A little over
86 years.
I was going to say over 80 years.
Yeah, 86 years, 1938. So.
Oh, he's not very old, is he?
Not very old.
No, he's definitely not an adult. So that's
Batman's
awkward.
80. So Batman's 85.
like
so he's almost
like 23 years old.
Yeah. For
Of
explaining.
course, Wonder Woman is much older since she's like a demigod. So
no, Via Gonzo is not a bird. He's an alien.
He's an alien.
That's in love with the chicken.
Sort.
So maybe that's where you got the bird thing. Plus, he has the big nose. It's not a beak, though. It's a big nose. It's just a nose.
Big nose.
Just watching Muppets from space. Just watch Muppets from space. So that was a great Muppet caper. Okay, so that was number 5. Number 4 is interesting because it gets interesting because it's not the Muppet movie. It's just called The Muppets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's number 4 on the list.
I'm
And-
perfectly content with it right there.
And that's Jason Segel, who's a big Muppet fan, a big puppet fan in general. Brought this back to life in what 2011?
2011.
Yeah,
2011.
I think-
2011.
He also co-wrote the movie too. He co-wrote the movie too.
Yeah, I think he got this gig because of his Dracula musical in
Sarah Marshall.
Forgetting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would make the most sense, yeah. And who was the character that they created? The little guy that's down in front there and standing by Kermit, the one with the suit on and stuff. What was his name? Anybody remember that little guy's name?
Boring.
Did you say boring? There is a really cool meme with him though, where he's running really fast, and it's just the background's moving, and he's going like
Right
that.
now, my brain is saying Princeton, but I know that's the character from Avenue Q. So,
Mm-hmm. Avenue Q is another great show. Chris and we watched that, I want to say 2015?
It's like
Somewhere like that in New
15,
York?
16. I think it was like maybe 2016.
No,
It's Walter. Walter's his name.
Walter.
Walter.
Okay. 2016 would have been Scotland and Ireland and England. So 2015, I think, was New York. It was the year before. That's where we came up with the idea.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
But we saw Avenue Q there off Broadway. It was fantastic. And then the Pasadena Playhouse, I believe, put on one within the last 4 years. That was really good, too. It was a very, very good job. So Avenue Q is still making its rounds, which is great. It's great. It's so good.
Yep.
It's so good.
yeah.
Q's still on off Broadway too.
Nice. So 23 years, David says. Yeah, I don't know if that's old enough for Superman. He looks like he would be from the avian kind of bird. Yeah, I guess. Chris Duque says, I'm late to the party, but everybody knows A Muppet Christmas Carol is the top dog in this competition. I mean, come on. With a bunch of hearts. Well, we'll see, Chris. Right now, we're on The Muppets. So Jason Segel came up with this idea. He was like, let me co-write the script. Let me do this. And let me create something magical with the Muppets. And how do you guys think he did with his outing? Obviously, we ranked it pretty high.
Yeah, I love
Well
the movie.
done. Well done.
I think it's, man, I don't know. It's he himself is a Muppet, so it's very like, I love the music. The music is great. It's hilarious. The movie's great. Walter's boring, but everything else about the movie is great. And we get Christoph Waltz rapping. So
Yeah. So it's about Walter. He's the world's biggest Muppet fan. He's on vacation in L.A. with his brother Gary, who's Jason Segel, and Gary's girlfriend, Amy Adams. They discover that Greedy, it was Chris Cooper that played the bad guy, plans to
Chris
raise
Cooper, yeah, that
Muppet
was the-
Studios and drill for oil on the spot, desperate to save the Muppets'
Waltz was
former
the second.
studio. Stomping grounds, the three friends joined forces with Kermit to reunite Miss Piggy, Fozzie, and the rest of the gang to hold a telethon to raise the $10 million they need to save the studio. Back in 2011, it came out in November, so it was right around Thanksgiving time. So it was a nice holiday film. Had a budget of $45 million and actually grossed $165.2. So it was a big hit for them at the time, and it did spawn the sequel, which apparently did not do shit, and that's why we don't have another Muppet movie. But we did get
two failed TV shows.
But we did get, I was gonna say at least one television series on Disney
Then
Plus.
one on Disney. No, then there was the other TV show on TV on ABC.
Oh yeah, that
Muppet
one.
Show,
That one
whatever,
sank
yeah.
like a rock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Muppets Tonight. Was that
yeah,
it? Yeah.
sank like a rock. Unfortunately.
My favorite thing about the Muppets movie, like the I have one now, is the Fozzie Bear covers when he's singing in Vegas or wherever it is.
Mm-hmm.
He's singing the covers of all the other songs. Like, and it just makes me chuckle just thinking about it. So,
Oh,
favorite part of the whole
Fozzie.
movie.
A top tier Muppet, if you ask me. Fozzie's in the top 5
Mhm.
for me personally. He'd have to. Gonzo, of course, number 1. We all know this. Everybody agrees on the pod right now. Chris, Kevin, Gray, we all agree. Gonzo's number 1.
He's
number
awesome.
1.
He's awesome.
The best.
Yep.
But if I had to choose, I'd probably put Fozzie at number 2. And I think that that's for his unabashed excitement that he brings to not only to the people around him, but to the scene that he's in. As an actor, he's a fantastic Fozzie's a fantastic character, and a character that I would want to play if I was voicing a Muppet. It would be something like Fozzie, to have that kind of enthusiasm and to be that kind of zany. There's a scene, and Kevin, I don't know if you put it in there, and Chris, what Muppet Christmas one was it? When it came out?
It's the Very Merry Muppet Christmas.
Okay, it's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas. Okay. Yeah, this one here that came out, made for television. And there was this scene with Fozzie Bear in there where he was trying to, I think, steal something or grab, not steal.
It was the crown jewels.
Yeah, he was trying to liberate the crown jewels. And there's a bunch of lasers, and of course he's a Fozzie, furry, fuzzy bear, and he's trying to sneak through these lasers and getting burnt and singed and stuff. And you get to see, it's great because it's one of the very rare times where you see full Fozzie. Like move, like you see his legs lift and stuff like that. It's really unique, and it's very clever, creative, and it's a lot of fun just for that moment. The rest of the film, but that scene is fantastic, and I highly recommend it for that reason and that reason alone. So yeah, that's where I'd put Fozzie. So that's the Muppet movie. Now, or just called the Muppets, I guess, at number 4. Number 3. Let's see what everybody thinks about this. Okay, number 3, The Muppets Take Manhattan. What do we feel about The Muppets Take Manhattan, guys? What's your thoughts on this? Number 3, a good spot for it, or no?
It could be 3 or 2. Spot. Yeah, it's not a bad spot. 3 or 2.
Yeah, I like 3 because we were talking about this earlier. The Muppets Take Manhattan spawned the Muppet Babies.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel is important. I love Muppets Manhattan. I think it's such a fun movie. I think that's where we get introduced to Rizzo, isn't it? Or not Rizzo. It's the rat. We get introduced to the rats, but not
the
Rizzo
rats.
directly.
Basically Rizzo.
Yeah.
It's prototype Rizzo. Yeah.
And they're a lot of fun, and that's, I don't know, it's my favorite OG Muppet movie.
Yeah, and it's when they decide to do a stage act, they think that the show it's going to be
for Broadway,
great for Broadway. But they get there and their financing is taken away by Murray Plotsky, I want to say, and I can't remember who played Murray Plotsky offhand. But I feel like okay, there we go. Dabney Coleman played Murray Plotsky.
Oh.
So, Dabney Coleman is the perfect, heel. He's the perfect bad guy. He's always been great at being a bad guy. And he, basically rips them off, takes their money, and screws them over, And then it's all about them unable to stage a show. They all split up, and they all have to get jobs. They're all stuck in the city. And then Kermit thinks he's found a way. He's got a backer, and then he tries to get the band back together, so to speak. So it's one of those instances. It's the first band back together story that we get within the Muppet universe, which seems to be a regular thing with the Muppets moving forward. But in this instance, it's very fresh and original and a lot of fun.
And you know who directed this movie, right?
Wasn't this Frank Oz's first?
Master Yoda himself, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they gave Frank the helm, and he took it and ran with it. Had a box office of $25.5 million, which is pretty big back in 1984.
Yeah, once he finished Return of the Jedi, this was his next project.
And that's something.
Mm-hmm.
He directed Return of the Jedi. Had no idea, Kevin. Good for Frank Oz.
Well, after playing, Master Yoda.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Return of the Jedi.
Okay, gotcha. Got it. All right. Chris Duquet says Rizzo the Rat is up there with one of the best. Agreed.
Yep. I enjoyed the friendship relationship of Kermit and Jenny in the diner, and that Miss Piggy is jealous of, which is, standard. But I really enjoyed that in this movie.
Yeah, it was interesting to see them out of their element, so to speak. See them in the big, exciting city of New York, which is what I think was the big draw for everybody. Everybody was like, "Ooh, this is a lot of fun. This is," and in a lot of ways, it was a reuniting of the characters because, as we talked about, I think '81 was the second Muppet film, which was the Great Muppet Caper, and that one, Jim Henson didn't seem as invested in. He didn't seem like he had his heart into it. So by kind of giving the mantle over to Frank Oz, who definitely had his heart and soul poured into it, he plays Muppets. He is a Muppet. I think that reinvigorated the franchise and kept them alive and kept them relevant. And that's important, especially back in '84. As we know, 1984 was a big year for a lot of films.
Yes, it was. And we did it back in January. The best movies in 1984. And we couldn't even get through half the list because there was so much.
So much. Too much. Really quickly, Chris Duque says if Sammy was a Muppet, she'd be Janice for sure. And he'd be Fozzie Bear. Big Sean says if the Muppets made a version of A Christmas Carol, how about their version of Fellini's 8.5? Just asking. I don't believe they did that, but there is something weird that they did that we will bring up, Big Sean. And we might as well talk about it now. How about that? Let's just bring it up. Let's just talk about it right now, Kevin. You've been chomping at the bit to talk about it. So let's go.
What's that?
Let's go. You know what it is. You know what one.
Do I?
Yep. 1975, The Muppets, Sex and Violence.
I mean, I brought it up, but I know you're actually going to talk about it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. We're definitely going to talk about it. It was a creation of so many characters, right, Chris?
Yeah, we had basically Electric Mayhem, and the big one, what I think is number 2 Muppet, the Swedish Chef.
Yes, he's
great.
All
introduced. Basically, what it was after the Muppet show was such a success, they tried making spin-offs, basically, of other shows, and so they tried making an adult version of the Muppet show by making Sex and Violence. And so it was an adult-themed show. That's why Electric Mayhem and Swedish Chef and all that stuff was like the main character. Like they were the characters in the show,
right?
And that's what they were introduced.
Pretty fascinating, actually. Pretty fascinating idea. And Big Sean, you probably didn't know about it. And so mentioning 8.5, that was a smart move, sir. So my hat's off to you. But I can't take my hat off because my headset's on it. So there you go. Tip of the hat. How about that? I'll give you a tip of the hat. So yeah, that was Sex and Violence, came out in 1975. So number 3 on the list was The Muppets Take Manhattan. Can anybody guess what number 2 was on the list? Anybody in the chat? Number 2. I'm going to put it in here right now. Now, this one's going to be, I think a lot of people are going to have umbrage with it because they're going to be like, why is this number 2? And I get it to a point. But there's certain people in life that I akin myself to, like, if we met, we would be the fastest friends. And we would go drinking, and we would play music, and we would have a fantastic time. I created this whole storyline in my head of me if I ever met Tim Curry. And sadly, that has yet to happen, and maybe will someday, but we'll see. But I doubt we'll be going out for any type of drinks at any bars anytime soon. But you never know. But with that, I'm going at number 2 with the list, Muppet Treasure Island. And it's all Tim Curry, all day long. Who did he play? He played Captain Blackbeard, I want to say, or was it Captain something?
Long John Silver.
Thank you. That's it. Yeah, Long John. I knew it was something ridiculous.
Interesting thing is the reason that Tim Curry is the way he is because he played the character like a Muppet. Literally a quote from him.
It's smart. It was a smart way to do it. It really was. It brightened the film. And I feel they had some of the best. I know Gray was talking about musical numbers and stuff, but I feel they had some of the best musical numbers in Muppet Treasure Island. There were some bangers, man.
They did.
Some bangers. It was a yo ho, and a bottle of rum, and a pirate's life for me and all that jazz. So much fun. So much fun. And it told a good story. It actually told the story, basically, essentially, of Treasure Island, only in a Muppet form. And I was super excited once this happened, because this was the second classic tale that we got of them retelling it Muppetized, like a Muppetized version of it. And I thought, oh man, I can't wait for the Muppet Scarlet Letter. I can't wait for, there's so many good ones that were
War and Peace.
Yeah, Muppets War and Peace that were coming down the pike that I was super stoked for. And it just didn't happen after this. And I think the box office kind of did it in, unfortunately. It didn't make a ton of money, in other words, which is very unfortunate. I think this one came out in what, like
96.
90, I was going to say 94,
Yeah.
96, yeah, okay.
And I agree with you on this placement, but I would like to hear what Gray's opinion is.
I had it up there. I had it at 3, so it was pretty close.
Nice.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, because he had the Muppet movie at number one, so
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
It's just a blast, and yeah, Tim Curry almost steals it, maybe does, and but yeah, he plays it, pretty much like a Muppet, and he's fantastic.
It grossed $47.2 million in the box office.
What did they make it for?
That I don't know. It made $34.3 million in the U.S. and Canada, and $47.2 million total worldwide. But as far as like what it cost,
Yeah, I'm looking for that too.
I'm not pulling that up. They might not have stated it, but it did really well. They got 2.5 stars out of 4 from Roger Ebert, which is not easy to do.
Back in the day when ratings were based on people and not fruit.
Right. Yeah.
Well, actually, I found the budget. Apparently, if this is true, $5 million. If this is true.
Oh,
Oh.
shit.
Tim Curry would have been $5 million alone. Like,
Yeah, that didn't sound right.
You would think.
Okay, here's a fun
Weird.
one. The Hormel Food Corporation sued Jim Henson's Productions for using the name Spam for one of the film's tribal pig characters. The judge dismissed their suit after a trial for failure to prove damages, noting one might think Hormel would welcome the association with a genuine source of pork.
oh,
Yeah,
Good.
not bad. A nice slam by the judge, right? That's like, I'll take it. I'll take it. We'll definitely take that one. That was a win.
that's
there.
one of those ones where you bow. You're like, yes, Your Honor, yes.
Mm-hmm. And now, with no further wait, let's put a little music in it. Let's get something. There we go. Ooh, something serious, right? Number 1 on the list.
We all know what it is because of process of elimination.
Number 1 on the list. Muppet Christmas Carol. That's right. A Muppet Christmas Carol has defied the odds. The 1992 film with Michael Caine, who elevated this film like nobody's business, by the way. I feel like
was
basically
backstacking.
he saved the film. Like, in my opinion. Like, he was a great Ebenezer Scrooge.
He's my Ebenezer Scrooge.
I could see that.
Like, I think of Christmas Carol, I think of him as Ebenezer. I can't think of anybody else.
Yeah, I could totally see that, dude.
Yeah.
I could totally see
Me
that.
too.
Hey, Bethany.
Who are you talking to, Kevin? There's nobody here.
Songs are
Bethany.
also bangers in that movie.
Oh, Bethany. Okay. Yeah, they are. A lot of great,
songs.
fantastic, fun songs in this. And we get classic classic Gonzo and Rizzo at their best. In fact, so
Uh-huh.
good that I had to go out and get the pop version of both of them.
Oh,
You can't go wrong with these two. Like it's like Laurel and Hardy telling you a story, or Abbott and Costello retelling you a classic story and following along the way while you're following the story. It was so fun and fresh. The retelling, and they've done A Christmas Carol so many times since, and I still keep going back to this one. I still keep going back to A Muppet Christmas Carol as the pinnacle, as the best version, in my opinion as well, Chris, of A Christmas Carol. It's just great.
And they actually use the source material for the narration. Not all of it, but they use a lot of what Dickens wrote in the book.
Yeah. So it's really smart. It's smartly done. It's production value. As far as production value, they put a lot of time and effort into it. As far as money, I think the budget was $12 million. So it wasn't a huge budget, but it looked great. You know, $12 million can, if you're working with Muppets, they're not getting paid. You know what I mean? So it's just the voice actors basically and the puppeteers that are getting paid, and they're not getting paid millions of dollars.
And I also think it's cool. Gray, do you know how many puppeteers it was to do the Christmas present? Was it like 10 or 12 puppeteers or something like that? It was some ridiculous number.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head, but yeah.
It was like a ton of puppeteers that had to, because there was like two in the body, and then there was like animatronic puppeteers like up the wazoo for him. It was ridiculous. It was awesome. I think it was probably their most technically advanced movie out of all the ones they made out of Muppet movies.
At that time, for sure. Yeah.
This movie made $27.3 million.
It wasn't a huge. I mean, it doubled, but it wasn't huge.
It wasn't huge, but I love the fact that they said, you know what, we doubled our money. Like, if you get an investment, you make an investment, and somebody's like, I can guarantee you, if you give me $1 million, I'm going to give you $2 million. And that happens, and then they're like, the next one, Muppet Treasure Island. You're going to go what? You're going to go, I'm in. I'll give you $1 million, you know? Like, that's the $1 million I gained, so I'm not out anything now at this point, so I'm going to give you $1 million. So then I can reinvest and get another $1 million back. So then I will have invested the $1 million that I gained to get another $1 million. So I've got $2 million of free money based on my first $1 million. So this is how rich people stay rich. That's how it works.
I'm just speculating, but I'm gonna guess that this is the reason. Like this movie, Muppet Treasure or Muppet Christmas Carol, that this is what made Disney want to buy the Muppets. Again, I'm just speculating. So.
Well, I think Disney was helping produce a lot of these films in general. Like they were going through them as a distribution.
And they saw like how good it was, and they're like, "Wow, that's
right." I mean, it was Jim Henson production, so Jim Henson owned the rights to the Muppets at this time, and the distributor was Walt Disney Pictures. So Walt Disney probably, they were like, "Hey, we see a lot of potential for this to happen." And it's weird because you have something like The Muppet Christmas Carol, and it's so well done and so thought out, and so like every little intricate thing that happens, if you look in the background, all these little Muppets characters doing different things and acting silly and doing things, it's so unique. And then you watch something like the Jim Carrey computer animated Christmas Carol, right? That film made $325.3 million. It made almost $300 million more than A Muppet Christmas Carol. And you look back, and don't get me wrong, Jim Carrey's A Christmas Carol is fine. It's good, it's entertaining. But when I talk Christmas carols, half the time I forget that even exists. I'm not thinking that. I'm not thinking of like that. I'm thinking of the Muppets. I'm thinking of something that was seminal, something that was huge in my mind, something that was so unique. You like the word seminal, don't you, Kevin? Look at you laughing. You weirdo. Little pervert.
No, it's something that I saw in the comment section that made me laugh.
Sure.
Because we're playing along with the Muppets in like different horror and action movies. So Muppets Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Muppets Meet Jason Voorhees. But the one that cracked me up was Muppets John Wick. John Wick is played by Gonzo.
Well, they like I said, we were talking about that earlier.
Not bad.
They did that with the Princess Bride picture thing that they were doing. Tease where Gonzo played Dio Montoya.
Yeah.
Similar to
Yeah.
that,
And let's talk about that. Now that we've talked about the number one, we have probably like 1 or 2 minutes left here that we can discuss real quickly. But what was it, last year or the year before? They came out with another Muppet film, and I don't know that, maybe it was a couple years ago. It was 2021, I think. And they came out with Muppet's Haunted Mansion. Now, Gray, have you seen this?
I haven't actually.
Okay.
I've been a little preoccupied with other things.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The babies will do that. Babies will do that. I'm pretty sure. And working in production will do that, and working as a puppeteer will do that.
I'm gonna be honest, and I have not seen it.
None of us have. You haven't seen it. Kevin hasn't seen it. We kept forgetting. We forgot about it. We legitimately. I was walking down the street today when I texted you all in the group, and I said, "Hey, we should really include this Muppets Haunted Mansion because I want to talk about it. I don't know that anybody else has seen it. So if anybody in the chat has seen it, what did you think of it? Because I'm legitimately excited now to watch this film. Like, I'm going to watch probably Muppets from Space. I'm going to have an edible. I'm going to watch Muppets from Space. And then maybe, if it's still working, I'm going to go to Muppets Haunted Mansion. And I'm wondering if this is the best version or the last Haunted Mansion that we got was the best version. Because that was a lot of fun, too. The one with Danny DeVito. If you haven't seen that, that's really good, too.
I've not seen it. I didn't know he was in that movie.
Unfortunately, the writer's strike and actor's strike and everything kind of shot it in the foot. And
it's on Disney Plus, right?
I believe so. Yes. Yeah. In fact, I think so is this.
The Eddie Murphy movie.
The Eddie Murphy. No, that was the one
the
before that. There's 3 versions. Okay. There's a Muppet version.
It's the one,
there's Eddie Murphy.
With the guy from. Sorry. Well, what is the movie with the horse heads? The people that get their heads replaced with horse heads. That guy. Or Get Out? No. Was it Get Out?
No. Wait.
In it?
He might have been in it. I don't remember.
Rosario Dawson and Owen Wilson.
He was in it, but he had a small part in it.
I think he was
He's the guy at the beginning.
Yeah.
He's the guy at the beginning running from the house.
I think you're right. Yeah. He's in it. In
Atlanta. He's in Atlanta.
Right, and Rosario Dawson's in it, and Owen Wilson as well. Yeah, so it's really good.
Jamie Curtis.
Mom says that she saw it and she liked it. Muppets Dune, says Big Sean. Well, that actually would be cool. He who controls the spice controls the universe.
Which Muppet would be the worms?
Oh man, did you guys see that popcorn bucket that you can get with the worm popping up?
Really?
Yes.
I saw SNL make fun of it, but
it looks so sexual, guys. It looks so sexual.
I want to say Pepe. I want to say Pepe would be the worm.
Well, there's actually a really funny picture where somebody put Muppet googly eyes on the worms, and I was like, they look like Muppets. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's super awkward. This one's my favorite one though. This is Jim and his dad from American Pie, and they're looking at the Dune popcorn bucket.
Yeah, Villanova was like, this is going to give a lot of people joy.
Okay. All right. Any other ones you guys want to mention or talk about? I know the Muppet Wizard of Oz. I'll just bring it up and we can just say nobody liked it. So we're going to go with that. No one liked it. I think I don't even know who was in this. I don't know who that is.
Apparently Quentin Tarantino was in it.
Oh boy, good for him. Muppets Smash Brothers, Muppets Saw, The Muppets Infinity War and Endgame, Muppets Fast and the Furious. I like that idea actually. Teenage Mutant Ninja Muppets.
Well, that pretty much is a Muppet.
You could get that one. You could get behind this, yeah. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention just briefly that we did get in 1982, like Gray was talking about, we did get The Dark Crystal, which was one of Jim Henson's darlings. And honestly, if you haven't seen the Netflix original series, it's
very
fantastic.
Wish it didn't get canceled.
I wish it did not get canceled either. It's really, really solid storytelling, and I wish that they would reconsider. And maybe at some point they will, or maybe Disney Plus will get the rights to it and bring it back and put it on the old Rolodex, something like that. The other one, very, very famous, David Bowie, Jennifer Connelly. We're talking Labyrinth. Labyrinth was... Wow, I had never known a man's crotchical region could project so far until I had seen Labyrinth as a kid. And I was like, this is awkward. Even as a kid, I was like, this is obscene. This is too much. Like, David Bowie, why? Why did you do this? Why did
The movie introduced us to Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah. You did.
And awesome puppetry, amazing puppetry, like really creative, different puppetry, which I love. Like, I love the hands
Yeah.
going in the hole, and
It was super creative, super fun.
I love how they have a puppet riding a dog.
Super great film. Highly recommend it. Muppets Top Gun. Muppet Labyrinth is the best, says Sammy. Hey, leave the bulge alone. Jesus, you pervert. No, I'm not leaving it alone. I blame the wardrobe department. Yeah, it was the wardrobe department. It wasn't David Bowie that was like, I want my dick
Singing love
to look
songs to a baby.
huge. Yeah, make it big. You know what I mean? Like, of course he did that. Like, he was like that. I want it to look big. Like, oh, David Bowie did it. You know he did it. Big Sean, I was actually thinking the Muppets and the Furious, but I was laughing too hard. Nice, guys. Nice. But that's it. That's gonna do us, guys. We're done. We're in and out. This was a pretty relatively fast one. I want to thank you all for being a part of this. This was really a hoot. Gray, thank you for being our special guest this evening. If anybody wants to check out any of your work, the little like the well, not little, I guess it would be the grand 48 hours that you had to shoot this. Would that be available for viewing at some point?
I just put it up it's on my YouTube channel, which is Gregarious, the word gregarious, but with my name in it, GreyGarious, and it is on there. And I've done actually a couple of other, actually 3 previous 48-hour puppet film projects, and they're all up on there, and some animation that I did also. So a lot of stuff.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And I hope you guys can get a chance to check it out. Please feel free to go to Greg Garius on his YouTube channel to check out his work. It's a hoot. I had the honor of going to see him perform a live puppetry on a stage in Santa Monica, and that was a lot of fun. I think it was just last year that we did that. We had a really good time.
Yeah.
I got to bring a friend of mine that was moving not long after that, and it was good to connect with him and hang out with him and stuff too. So it was a really good time. So I appreciate that, and we legitimately did have a really fun time. So thank you, and thank you to for everybody that put that on, and thank you for the audience for listening. If you get a chance, go to Splattered Frog. Check out all of their goodness. Go to splatterfrog.com, type in the coupon code SHORTBOX for 20% off. They have a lot of beer-related products. You can also go to halfshotsauce.com, type in the coupon code Donald Hiccups for 10% off your order. And we do hot sauce giveaways from time to time, so I hope you can tune in for those. And next week, Kevin, we have quite a doozy coming. What would that be, sir?
It will be All Things Irish, Part 3, Revenge of the Irish.
Yes. Oh, and you know, I can't wait for this one. I'm ready. I'm prepping. I'm drinking. I'm prepping. I'm getting ready. I'm gonna go nuts, and it's gonna be a fun time. You're gonna see Full Donald, and I know everybody loves Full Donald, or maybe it's just me. I don't know.
You also might see Full Professor Chris as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, my kidney will not appreciate.
We'll get Half Turner. Full Donald Half Turner. There we go.
But you'll be there, Gray, in some respect, one way or the other. I know you'll be there, Gray.
I'll tune in at least, and I'll have a drink to celebrate.
There you go.
Yeah. Blame the war. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this. We really appreciate you. And perhaps if you're thirsty, you might want to
have a splendid but always magnificent Rumble Pop.